getting close to that time of year when we'll start getting some snow to work and play in. So we want to start getting prepared for that. Getting as far up into the snowy woods as possible almost always results in this. Snow's too deep, I keep high centering, so I gotta break out the high lift jack. Get these tires up in the air and then shove snow underneath there so I could get some traction. Use the lift mate. I mean, if you don't push it, how do you know how far up there you can get? But when you're doing this sort of thing, you need to be able to get yourself going again and get back home, which means you need to bring some tools with you to get that job done. Besides buying and installing a winch, there are tools that can do this job that aren't permanently attached like a winch would be. Oh, there it goes. Finally moved it. Finding room in your rig, especially a smaller one like we own, can be challenging. Our old high lift jack was taking up a lot of room storing it behind the seats like this. Room that we needed for things like our battery chainsaw and our air compressor. This jack is heavy too. It really needed to be more secure so that it would be less prone to getting loose and hurt us or our dogs, which are almost always with us. But this year I'm trying something new with our self-recovery gear I wanted to share. Now what I really wanted to see if this doggone high lift jack, when I take it apart, if this, oh yeah, will fit on top there, and then I'll still be able to close the lid. See that doggone thing, just a little bit too long. I kind of want it to fit in here with the rest of this stuff, and then I could tie it all in with the spare tire clamp right there. So I'm going to cut a couple inches off this, see if we can get this to fit in here. Looks like if we cut about 3.5 inches off, maybe 3 inches, but 3.5 will certainly do it. So let's go chop that off. Well, that's what we ended up with. Okay, it fits in there now. And I think there'll be plenty of room. So now all I got to do is get an extension between here, go through one of these holes, and the high lift jack will be the clamp to hold the spare tire in. That's pretty slick. Now the entire high lift jack will fit under here. This carriage goes right there. The base goes right there. The upright goes right there, and the handle could go there, I believe. See, that doggone rope winch fits in there too. That's kind of nice. It's right in there. Imagine we could put the rope inside there, wrap it around inside the spare. Have plenty of room. Lid still closes. Nice. I'm still gonna have to carry the OEM jack though for flat tire. I can't really jack this thing up with the high lift jack to change the tire. I gotta use the easy lift. If a guy had rock rails or something, he could probably get rid of the OEM jack. Just use this. Just use the high lift. But right now I can't. Just looking at this thing, I think I'll put this rail this way. That way it'll hold this. I always call this a carriage. This high lift jack carriage, that'll hold that in too. If you ever get all this stuff held down, the only thing that's holding is that lid, and it's just sitting there. You start bouncing around, I want this stuff to go start flying around and hit the dog or something. The other end will hold the rope come along down. Nice. Okay, this thing, I wonder if that's gonna fit too. Let's set that there. Then we'll go to the hardware store. And they get those double nut deals. You can set on there and then get a piece of all thread. So I can attach this. Let's see if we still got room if that's on top. Can't close the lid with that on there. Of course, maybe if you crank down on that, it might squeeze it down enough, squeeze the tire down enough to, we'll have to try that. But I'll get something like a little wing nut or something. Okay, let's go to the hardware store. That thing's metric. That's what we're looking for right there. M8 1.25. That dog right there. Think that'll work? That setup's long enough. I have to cut it off. I don't know, just as long as it's long enough. Well, that all seems to be working. I got it kind of squished down there, so I can't cut it off till I make sure that I can capture it without it being squished. Get that wing nut on there without it being squished, or else I won't be able to grab the all thread and squish it. So let's unsquish it. Squishing with this wing nut. And the lower one. And you can just keep tightening this sucker down. I think it's just squishing the tire. Really take a little bit of this off too, so I can get more of the nut on there. So I can get more of this nut in there. Take maybe half that off or so. Just grind it down a little. More. Half of that in there. See that sucker coming up through there. Get some of that off. I'm trying to get it halfway on here. I'm gonna tie a little piece of dental floss on there to mark it. We're not really compressed with the top wing nut at all. Let's cut this off now. Check out, that thing is sticking up a little bit above the wing nut. Yeah, I'm kind of liking this. This secures this. I guess I could stick something between there if it starts rattling. This is secured with this nut. And then we got this wing nut. I could tighten that even further, but that's working. I like it. Okay, we got all that in there. Looks like we have a little bit of room for some more stuff. We have a pretty good setup here. We could fit a lot more in there. There's a lot of little cubby holes we could put things. No problem putting the offset recovery rings over there. And got lots of room for soft shackles. Yeah, I'm pleased with that.